doing? What are we doing? And I'm like, I don't know. So they're nagging me, which is great because I just got two ex-wives who were total nags.
The gavel cracked against the wooden block with such force that it seemed to split the air itself. The judge's voice rolled across the courtroom like thunder breaking in the middle of a summer storm, sharp, cold, and unrelenting. This wasn't a set, this wasn't TLC, this wasn't a confession booth where words could be twisted into entertainment. This was real life with real consequences, and everyone inside knew it. The spectators, journalists, bloggers, even familiar faces from the sister wives world sat frozen in their seats, their jaws slack with disbelief. At the defendant's table sat Kody Brown, his jaw clenched tight, his eyes wide with panic, though he tried to mask it with his old bravado. But the spark, that arrogant twinkle he usually carried, was gone. Beside him, Robyn Brown dabbed at invisible tears with a crumpled tissue, her hand shaking. Dressed in a somber gray blouse, she looked less like a grieving mother and more like an actress fumbling through a scene she hadn't rehearsed. The reality had finally crashed down on them. The game was over. Even though the air conditioning hummed softly, the atmosphere was suffocating, heavy with tension. Outside, crowds had gathered, protesters holding bold signs that screamed, "Justice," for donors and Stop Kody's scams. Placards accused Robyn of crocodile tears, voices chanting for accountability. The courthouse steps looked more like the red carpet premiere of a gritty true crime documentary, except this wasn't reenactment or fiction. This was raw, unedited, and unfolding in real time. The sister wives saga had reached a terrifying new chapter, and the world was watching every second. Only weeks earlier, everything had been silent. Kody and Robyn had kept their social media strangely still. No car ride rants, no strange videos about loyalty or betrayal. Just eerie quiet. Then, out of nowhere, a GoFundMe page surfaced, titled, "Help Our Family Rebuild, Emergency Appeal." Its description was vague but laced with emotional manipulation. "Our family has endured unimaginable loss. We are barely keeping our heads above water. Please help us keep a roof over our children's heads." It was designed to strike straight into the hearts of fans who had followed their story for more than a decade. Within 48 hours, donations poured in from all corners of the internet. $5 here, $10 there, some sent hundreds. By the third day, the campaign had ballooned to a staggering $85,000. Kody and Robyn remained silent, offering no thank you videos, no public statements. Instead, the campaign was quietly pushed by mysterious burner accounts and anonymous Reddit posts that oddly attacked the other wives while defending Robyn. It was a strange silence that only deepened the intrigue. And then, the cracks appeared. Christine Brown posted a story on Instagram, sly but cutting. If someone's struggling so much, maybe they shouldn't be driving a brand new Lexus. Just saying. Attached was a photo of Robyn stepping into a luxury SUV after leaving a Flagstaff spa. Janelle Brown followed with her own pointed words. "Repairing what you destroyed isn't redemption. It's manipulation." The fans began digging. And what they uncovered ignited a firestorm. A Reddit user traced the organizer's email address back to a private LLC owned by Robyn, one that had lain dormant until it was suddenly reactivated in Arizona just before the campaign went live. What had been painted as a desperate plea now reeked of a deliberate scam. Donors, furious at the betrayal, demanded their money back. Complaints flooded GoFundMe. Accusations of fraud, emotional coercion, and manipulation multiplied by the hour. The outrage grew so loud that GoFundMe itself stepped in, shutting down the fundraiser and freezing the funds. Their official statement cut like a blade. "This campaign has been removed for repeated violations of our terms of service. Donor safety is our #1 concern. An investigation is underway." The internet erupted. TikTok creators broke down every detail. YouTubers reacted in real time. Hashtags like "Saw a Kody scam" and "Sister Wives fraud" trended for days. What began as suspicion spiraled into full-blown scandal. Soon a group of donors, some of them elderly fans who had followed the Browns from the beginning, filed a class action lawsuit accusing Kody and Robyn of fraud, emotional exploitation, and financial abuse. And just like that, they weren't trending names anymore. They were defendants. The evidence piled high against them: emails, bank transfers, credit card records, even security footage. Screenshots surfaced of Robyn allegedly messaging acquaintances to keep sharing the link quietly. In response, Kody's lawyers tried to spin it all away. Our clients were vulnerable. The campaign wasn't malicious, it was misunderstood, but the judge wasn't buying it for a second. Her eyes cut through every excuse like glass. And so the gavel came down again. Kody's forehead glistened with sweat. Robyn's hands clutched each other until her knuckles turned bone white. The judge, a woman in her 60s with a voice sharp enough to slice through stone, laid down the truth. The evidence shows a deliberate, consistent pattern of deception. This was not confusion. This was fraud dressed up as tragedy. The courtroom filled with whispers. Christine sat in the back, smiling faintly. Janelle gave a small, knowing nod. Even the GoFundMe representative seated in the gallery bowed his head in agreement. The judge's warning echoed like a death knell. This court is not your stage. Any public figure who dares to exploit personal tragedy for money should take heed. This ends here. Slam. The gavel fell once more, shaking the room. The hearing was adjourned, but the damage had been done. Kody and Robyn's supposed lifeline had become the very rope pulling them into scandal, and just when it seemed the worst was over, the judge ordered a full disclosure of all GoFundMe records. The real depth of the scam, uglier than anyone had imagined, was about to be unearthed. At face value, the campaign had been crafted to tug every heartstring. The photo was staged just so. Kody and Robyn looking weary, dressed down, as if disaster had struck their home. The caption was drenched in tragedy. We've suffered unspeakable loss. We're abandoned, betrayed, and broken. Please help us rebuild our life. It was manipulative in its simplicity, carefully designed to hook fans who had seen them weather heartbreak on television for years. Within hours, the donations had surged, carried on the hope of good-hearted people who believed they were preventing the family from sinking. Elderly viewers dipped into their pensions. Young mothers related to the pain of family breakdowns. Messages flooded in. Stay strong, we believe in you. But what no one realized was that behind the scenes, nothing was lost. Nothing was broken. Investigators soon discovered receipts that painted a damning picture. Robyn had just made a $25,000 deposit for luxury custom furniture. Kody had vanished to a spa retreat, spending over $2,000 on a spiritual cleanse. A leaked document revealed nearly $7,000 spent at a high-end boutique, justified as emergency wardrobe expenses. Even more telling, Robyn's teenage daughter had once flaunted designer handbags in a since-deleted TikTok, casually laughing, "Mom says we're manifesting abundance." Fans began stitching the puzzle together. How could a family crying poverty still afford all this? The answer came not from lawyers or judges, but from relentless fans who became digital detectives. They dissected every line of the GoFundMe. One claim read, "We're living in a temporary rental after being forced from our home." Yet satellite images still showed activity at their Flagstaff mansion. The lies weren't just cracks in the foundation, they were gaping holes, impossible to cover. And the truth was about to bury Kody and Robyn deeper than they had ever fallen before.
She thought was in this, but it was...
Because she loved you?
No, she was attracted to me. I know she wasn't in love with me.
Even deeper digging into the truth revealed an even darker picture. A property record search confirmed what fans had already suspected. The Flagstaff mansion was never in foreclosure, never up for sale, and never abandoned. And while the Browns claimed no income for months, the truth painted another story. Kody had just headlined a paid event in Phoenix, charging fans $100 each to listen to him speak about the cost of fame. The lies weren't even buried. They were layered, carefully constructed to manipulate emotions. When the court ordered full disclosure of the finances, the facade collapsed. Forensic accountants uncovered the shocking reality. Out of the $87,230 raised, nearly every cent was gone in less than 10 days. A staggering $1 in $200 paid to a designer for the master suite. Another $9,000 spent on 2 brand new iPhones, an Apple Watch, and a MacBook Pro. $5,300 disappeared into a week-long healing retreat in Sedona. where Kody reportedly left halfway through. $7,800 went toward private school tuition for Robyn's youngest child. $3,400 was quietly sent via Venmo to Robyn's sister with the note, "Business Startup Gift." $5,600 funneled into Kody's dissolved LLC, Faithful Living Media. At the end of it all, only $489 sat in the account. Nearly $90,000, gone, swallowed up in extravagance and deceit. The betrayal cut deep. In court, a 64-year-old woman named Linda testified through tears. She had donated $250, almost half of her monthly retirement check. "I trusted them," she said, her voice breaking. "I followed their journey for 13 years. I thought I was helping a family in crisis, not paying for their luxuries." Another supporter, a single mother of two, donated $50 and admitted she had skipped taking her children to dinner so she could help. "We thought we were doing something good. It makes me sick," she said. These weren't just donations. They were emotional investments. For fans who had grown with the Browns, it was like being scammed by family. Kody and Robyn's lawyers scrambled for damage control. Their defense was shaky at best. They argued that Robyn had organized the fundraiser, that Kody hadn't fully understood where the money was going, that fear and desperation clouded their judgment. On the stand, Robyn broke into tears. "I just wanted to protect my children. I wasn't thinking clearly. I was broken." But the judge was merciless. "You were not broken," she snapped. "You were calculating. You turned grief into currency, and your fans became your ATM." Even TLC, the network that made the Browns household names, had to step in with a rare public statement. "We are aware of the legal matters involving former cast members. These actions do not reflect the values of the network. We stand in solidarity with the fans affected." Rumors spread that TLC had considered a redemption special, but the idea collapsed under the weight of the scandal. Kody's reputation wasn't just bruised, it was annihilated. What began as a simple online fundraiser had spiraled into one of the most humiliating chapters in Sister Wives history. Money was misused, trust was shattered. Fans felt betrayed, on a level that cut deep. As one TikTok user bluntly posted, "I used to think Kody was eccentric but harmless. This feels evil." And the judge made it clear, this wasn't the end. The civil lawsuit was just the beginning. Criminal charges could follow. The courtroom atmosphere grew so heavy, it was as if every breath carried the weight of betrayal. The next round of witnesses only turned the drama into a family war zone. Kody's ex-wives were called to the stand. Janelle was first, arriving, with calm composure, but eyes filled with fire. She wasted no time. "Your Honor, Kody tried to rope me into this scheme," she said firmly. "He wanted me to validate the fundraiser online, told me it would benefit us all. When I refused, he accused me of betrayal. But I knew better. This wasn't about healing. It was about money." Gasps filled the courtroom. Janelle's evidence, text, messages, voicemails, even audio recordings, painted Kody as a manipulative orchestrator. In one clip, Kody could be heard saying, "This could be our comeback. If we all back it, people will believe it's real." Then Christine took the stand, and the atmosphere shifted. The outspoken ex-wife didn't hold back. "He used us as props for years, but this was different. This time he weaponized the audience's love." She revealed Robyn had personally reached out, asking her to post a vague supportive message about family unity. Christine refused. "She called me heartless, but I couldn't be part of this scam," she said, her voice trembling with anger. "Their crying broke from a mansion while scamming grandmothers online. Enough is enough." The gallery erupted so loudly the judge had to slam her gavel 3 times to restore order. When it was Robyn's turn, she broke down on the stand. Clutching a tissue, she sobbed that she never meant harm, that she thought people wanted to help, and that she trusted others around her. The judge was firm. "Mrs. Brown, you organized this campaign. You approved it. You spent the money. Intentions don't erase the facts." Robyn's sobs filled the room. Even Kody looked shaken. But sympathy was in short supply. Finally, Kody himself addressed the court, brimming with arrogance. "This campaign was symbolic," he said, puffing his chest. It wasn't about lies. It was about representing the emotional struggle we've endured. He glared at his ex-wives. I never lied. I just didn't think the public needed every detail. The judge cut him coldly. You asked for money under false pretenses. You claimed to be broke and homeless while enjoying luxury cars, homes, and paid speaking gigs. Do you call that honesty? Kody hesitated. It's complicated, he muttered. The judge's eyes narrowed. Fraud is not complicated, Mr. Brown. It's illegal. His smirk vanished. Then came the most damning evidence. The internet. Receipts. TikToks, Instagram posts, Reddit threads. Robyn caught thanking anonymous donors from burner accounts. Kody liking fundraiser promotions. A secret group chat titled Family Recovery Plan revealed detailed strategies on how to push the campaign. Worst of all, an Instagram live from Robyn's cousin showed her saying, their bills are paid, their fridge is full, they're just buying time until a book deal. Played in open court, it left the room in stunned silence. The nail in the coffin came when a GoFundMe executive testified. This was one of the fastest takedowns in platform history, she said. The complaints poured in. Our investigation found blatant misrepresentation and repeated policy violations. And this wasn't Robyn's first attempt. She had launched 2 prior fundraisers under different names that we removed. Her words sliced through any last defense. Our platform is for people in real crisis, not reality TV stars exploiting. Sympathy. The silence that followed was louder than any gavel. Then the judge delivered the blow. This case will be referred to the State Attorney General for review of possible criminal fraud charges. The courtroom gasped. Christine covered her mouth in disbelief. Janelle stared ahead, unmoving. Robyn froze, and for once, Kody Brown had nothing to say. Outside, chaos erupted. Fans chanted, reporters swarmed, hashtags like SARS Sister Wives Fraud and Kody Exposed shot to the top of social media. Christine, caught on camera leaving the courthouse, said quietly, "Truth has a funny way of rising. I'm just sorry it took this long." Signs waved in the crowd. You took our money, now face the music. The Browns weren't just facing a lawsuit, they were facing the collapse of their legacy. The Sister Wives family, once united under a controversial roof, was now at war, and the fallout had only just begun. What left everyone stunned was the sudden appearance of a third ex-wife, who until this moment had remained completely silent throughout the chaos. Meri Brown. She had avoided the media, she had posted nothing about the GoFundMe scandal. But now, in court, she finally spoke. Her voice carried a weight no one was expecting. Meri said calmly, "I kept quiet. Until now." Her presence in the courtroom was like a plot twist no one saw coming. Wearing a dark olive coat and gripping a thick envelope, she walked firmly to the witness stand and stared straight ahead. No glance toward Kody. No glance toward Robyn. I stayed silent for years, perhaps too long, she continued. The entire courtroom leaned in. I sat back and let them run their narrative. I let them paint me as bitter. I let them push me further into silence. But I will not stay quiet any longer. She lifted printed screenshots, emails, and texts between her and Robyn from months before the GoFundMe ever began. Robyn had reached out, claiming she and Kody were under spiritual attack, that everyone was against them, and that they needed help. Then came the statement that would dominate headlines for weeks. Robyn had asked her if she could donate $5,000 anonymously to the campaign to spark trust. Robyn insisted, once people saw the money rolling in, more would follow. Gasps filled the room. Even the court clerk froze mid-sentence. Meri said she flatly refused. I told her if you need money, sell the house. Robyn blocked her the very next day. The family was divided, loyalty or fear. Meri's testimony rippled through the courtroom like an earthquake. The judge leaned forward and asked sharply, Mrs. Brown, did you feel pressured into compliance because of your long history with the family? Meri nodded firmly. Yes, Your Honor. Loyalty meant everything to Kody until it didn't. If you didn't follow his rules, you were cast out. I was cast out years ago, and I stayed silent because I didn't know what would happen if I spoke the truth. The judge's eyes shifted to Kody, who sat stone-faced. His gaze locked on the table. That's when the prosecution pulled out something even more shocking: written statements from Kody's grown children. The silence broke with a bombshell. Kody's children had finally spoken. They claimed he was never actually broke. Some of his older kids, now independent and free from his influence, had submitted statements that hit like daggers. One came from Garrison, who wrote, "My dad was never broke. He was plotting. He used the show, the fans, and the wives to build an empire. And when it fell apart, he played the victim. But he was never truly broke. He never stopped pretending." Another letter came from Christine's daughter, Aspen, who wrote, "We watched him gaslight our mothers. We watched him play favorites and pit them against one another. This GoFundMe wasn't a cry for help. It was one last scam." Even Robyn's daughter, Aurora, who had often defended the family online, sent a neutral statement through her school counselor saying simply, "I don't want to be part of this anymore. I'm sick of secrets." The judge accepted the letters into evidence. By then, Kody's face was crimson, his lips pressed into a tight line. The once confident patriarch of sister wives now looked cornered, exposed, and dangerously vulnerable. During recess, Robyn broke down. Witnesses in the hallway described her sobbing uncontrollably, repeating, "I thought we were still a family. I thought they would stand by us." Inside the courtroom, Christine shook her head slowly. "You burned every bridge," she whispered. "And now you expect someone to build you a lifeboat." The truth was clear. This wasn't just a legal scandal. It was an emotional breaking point for everyone who once believed in the dream of the Brown family. Outside the courthouse, the public's reaction shifted dramatically. Former fans began posting TikToks exposing years of questionable behavior. Old clips resurfaced of Kody mocking Christine, and footage of Robyn subtly manipulating situations. Videos of Kody bragging about book deals and TV royalties spread like wildfire. On Twitter, hashtags exploded. Sister Wives Scam, I Team Christine, or Kody Conman, Justice for the Wives. The fallout was no longer just legal, it was reputational. The Sister Wives brand was collapsing before the world's eyes. But just when it seemed the drama couldn't go any deeper, a final witness entered the case. Kody's own brother, Curtis Brown. Curtis had avoided the spotlight for years, but this time he couldn't stay silent. Standing tall, his voice deliberate, he said, "I love my brother, but I cannot defend what he's done. Our family raised us to value community, faith, and honesty. What he and Robyn did is the opposite of everything we were taught." His words cut like a knife. Kody always had a flair for the dramatic, but this isn't drama, it's deception. Kody didn't look at him once. The judge leaned back, sighing deeply. This case began as a financial fraud investigation, but it's turned into something far bigger, a story of betrayal, manipulation, and the abuse of emotional trust. Her words left the room in absolute silence. This was no longer about a family struggling to survive. This was about individuals exploiting their past and their fame for profit. No one spoke. No one moved. The gavel hadn't even fallen yet, but the damage had already been done.